Good morning. Welcome to Gloria's Gab Live. I am so happy you joined us today because I have a wonderful guest, Glen Weinzimer, who is the founder of Smart Ride. And if you haven't heard of it, you must be living in a hole because it's like amazing. And despite COVID, they had a great year, and we're going to learn all about that. But first, I need to thank my sponsors. Baraha Medical Institute, a Quigley eye specialist company. By the way, they have an event coming up, and it's called a Tea and Talk at a cute little place in South Miami. And if you want to learn about from Dr. Baraha himself about saggy eyes, give them a call or go to Best Vision at QuigleyEye.com, and you can RSVP for the event. And then my other sponsor is everybody's favorite, South Florida PBS. And you know, they bring great programs. If you're not a member, get on the ball, and they've got a campaign going on.
I'm a member.
And you're a member. Me too.
Yeah,
me too.
Sure.
And they have all these great things if you're a member benefits. So
I got a mug.
You got a mug. Great. Yeah. So back to you, Glen. We've been talking for an hour because we were a little delayed this morning, and you've got so many great things going on. But first of all, you had the challenge of COVID last year and fundraising, and Smart Ride raises money for all these different HIV, AIDS-related charities or clinics in Florida, right?
Correct.
And so tell me, how did you do, and how did you make lemonade out of lemons?
Well, first of all, thank you, Gloria, for having me. We'll start with that.
Oh, yeah.
Smart Ride, as you know, is a 2-day, 165-mile bicycle ride from Miami to Key West. It happens every November, and we're now in our 18th year. But last year, like everyone else, COVID changed our plans. We couldn't bring 750 people together and do a live event. So we pivoted, and we reimagined the ride, and we asked people to do their metric of 165. What did 165 mean to them, which is the number of miles to Key West? And we had people clean the beaches for 165 minutes. We had people walk 16.5 miles in New York City. We had people fly from California and ride 165 miles to Key West on their own. And we were hoping that we'd raise a couple $100,000, way off from our $1 million that we normally do. And in the end, we raised $701,000, which blew everyone away. And it helps 6 AIDS organizations throughout the state of Florida, from Tampa to Orlando to Palm Beach to Fort Lauderdale, down into Miami. And then finally, we have an agency in Key West.
Yeah. It's such an amazing thing. And I remember when you started this, 2003, and we got the Coral Gables Owens Club on because, hey, you know,
I had danced for you. That's how you got me involved.
Yeah, we got him to dance in a cabaret show we used to do for our dental clinic for needy children. And you and one of our members, turns out, was his dentist.
She had that thing in my mouth when she asked
you
me.
Have to come and dance with us. So we've actually danced in a cabaret show together. So we go way back, 2003. So the first year, I remember, I was blown away because what did you make, like 50,000?
It was 169,000.
You made that the first year?
The first year. And so what's unique, though, is that we give back 100% of all that money.
Exactly.
So when we raised 169,000, we returned 169,000. We don't use any of the money to produce the event.
Exactly.
So
which makes it a truly unique event.
And the worst business plan ever.
So he volunteers his time and energy and builds this up from nothing. And now look what's happening. You've raised over
$12.5 million in the last 17 years and given back 100% of it.
Yeah. I don't know any nonprofit that's done that. So I'm you know, and I know you're getting a ton of awards. We were laughing about this.
Because you get just as many.
Yeah, but for you, just recently, you got this really great award. This was a fun one. The Clear Health Initiative Trailblazers Award.
Yes.
Okay. Oh, Alliance. I'm sorry.
That's okay.
Presented him with the Trailblazers Award for the year, and guess who got to present it to him?
Who?
Magic Johnson.
Shut up.
Shut
up.
up.
That's right. Magic Johnson. It was great.
Yeah, so that's pretty cool.
It was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, so and then the Greater Fort Lauderdale group, what did they do? What did you
Greater
get?
Fort
You got
Lauderdale
something else.
Chamber of Commerce last week gave the organization its Diversity and Inclusion Award for small business, and
Oh,
we
that's
won
great.
that in that category. And I was really surprised because there's so many great organizations that work with diversity and inclusion and help people. But I guess we rose to the top on that one, and it was the first time we've ever received it. So that was a great award to get.
Well, that's probably one that you should be getting every 2 or 3 years. We talked about
No.
how a lot of times you get awards and then 3 or 4 years later you get the
They
same
come
one
back to
again
you.
because, hey, you're still doing great work.
Yeah, but there's so many
So-
people in the community that do so many great things that
I
I
know.
really, sometimes it gets a little embarrassing because there's so many worthy organizations.
No, you're absolutely right. We are so fortunate to live in South Florida where we have so many incredible nonprofits. And of course, I bring people all the time on the show that are doing these great works. In fact, last week, and I was going to talk to you about, because we were talking about one of the things
We missed something before the show?
Yeah, I know. We got to talk for like an hour. But the kids that were on the street that you get from the streets that are gay and lesbian and whatever, and you were talking about that program.
Right, from Pride Lines Youth Services. Or
Yeah,
Pride Lines, yeah.
So tell us about that, and then I'm going to tell you something.
Okay. So we have 6 agencies that benefit, and each one of them has sort of more of a little bit of a specialty to who they take care of. So Pride Lines in Miami is an agency that works with youth that in many cases have been thrown out of their homes because of the sexual identity or their transgender. And a lot of them are coming from outside of South Florida. And they come down here because the weather is warm and it's more accepting than maybe, if they grew up in Billings, Montana or something like that. And so they've lacked the education about sexual health or any awareness. And a lot of times they'll end up on the streets working in order to be able to survive. And by the time they will get to a place like Pride Lines Youth Services or Pride Lines, they're already infected with HIV and AIDS, and they've had no medication. And so they end up, in many cases, ending up with full-blown AIDS, which you just don't see anymore because there's enough medications and things out there to prevent people from really getting sick if you take these. And so they do a great job of bringing these kids in from the street, getting them to safe housing, getting them clean clothes. And, these kids are good kids. They just were trying to survive. They're not necessarily drug addicts or any of that you would think of people that are on the street. They just truly, were put in an unfortunate situation by being rejected by their families.
Right.
Yeah.
And so last week I had Rudy Bustamante on, and he's got the Magic Waste Foundation, and they take kids that are graduating out of the foster care system, and a lot of times similar stuff happens to them. They don't have parents, they don't have anybody, and they need that help.
Yeah.
So, but I was so happy to hear that there's an organization helping those kids because, wow.
Because they don't have a support system, and then they age out, and then what happens? You need to take it to the next level and get them engaged. And if you do it right, they can become the next leaders or spokespersons to help other people that were in the same position.
Yeah.
And that's
when kids are sick on top of it, I mean, that's just heartbreaking.
Yeah.
So, so tell me, well, first of all, let's talk about how you got into this crazy business. I knew you were a director of sales, and now you're part owner of a restaurant, or partnership in a restaurant in Wilton Manors.
Yeah. When we met, we opened up the Hyatt in Coral Gables right down here, and that was an awesome job. Monica Newman, who was a friend of yours, was the general manager, and we had a great thing going. We were both part of the travel. What was that thing we did for the chamber?
The tourism committee of the Coral Gables Chamber of Commerce,
where we rotated who was going to be president by pulling straws because no one wanted the job. And then I moved back up to Fort Lauderdale like 14 years ago, and 4 years ago bought an Italian restaurant in Wilton Manors, and that has been a fun journey to do that. But we incorporated, because I believe so much in nonprofit work and giving back to the community and being partners and not just taking all the time, we started a what's called 10% Give Back Mondays, or Give Back Mondays. And 10% of all revenue on Monday nights goes back to a local nonprofit in the community that the community cares about. So it could be the Humane Society, United Dog Rescue, Save the Turtles. We've done all of those, the Gay Men's Chorus, the bears of South Florida. And for those who don't know what bears are, they're usually
This is a new one. I've never heard of
you
this.
didn't know this one, but yeah, it's usually hairier gay men, and they have their own little subgroup. And so that's one of our groups. The World AIDS Museum is one of our beneficiaries. Broward House, SunServe, Stonewall, National Archives. And so each Monday we choose one of them and give them 10% of the house. And in the last 4 years, we've given about $40,000 back to the community just on these Monday nights. And it took our slowest night to be our third busiest night of the year. Even during COVID, we kept going. When we were shut down and stuff, we still did our Monday night givebacks.
That's great. And those people, when you opened again, they helped you out too.
Absolutely. And I was telling you earlier, like one of the most, it did make me tear up. One of our organizations that we've done a lot of work with sent a note out to their entire membership and said, the restaurant Bono has been there for all of us over the last 4 years that they've owned it. And now they're in trouble and they need our help. So we're asking all of our members to do takeout on like that Wednesday night. And we were packed with takeout, and we were still closed. Yeah. But I really believe one of the reasons we survived the pandemic with the restaurant was, yes, PPP, but our community just, doing the right thing for other people, never expecting to have to use that, but it came back tenfold to us, and we're still around. So, yeah. Yeah.
And it's interesting that the restaurants like yours and like Clutchburger, you met Clutchburger earlier, and they knew how to give back, and they figured out ways to survive. But the fact their generosity and their creativity allowed them to survive. Yeah. And so the ones that were, like you, being very super creative, did okay.
Yeah, it was not an easy year, but without a doubt, we survived because the community supported us, because we've been trying our best to be partners with everyone in the community for their needs and their organization.
So now coming up, your next Smart Ride,
November 19th and 20th,
and
it's going to go. It's live. It's going to go from Miami to Key West. But what do
you mean it's live?
I mean, we're actually going to be on bicycles and do it this year.
Oh, you're in person, like
in person, as opposed to reimagined. Yes. So this year, everyone will be on the bikes.
Okay, and I know the Coral Gables Women's Club have they been doing it every year?
I think since year two. Since the second year, you all joined because you're a member of the Coral Gables Women's Club.
Yeah, we have a group of people that because we do a lot of different things in the fall. So there's a group of people that you have dressed in costume. Are you still going to have the costume contest?
Yes.
Oh yeah, so because they really like.
They're one of the pit stops. So on the ride, it's 100 miles on day one. So you look at it as 5 20-mile rides, but every 15 to 20 miles is a rest stop, and each rest stop is themed. And the Coral Gables Women's Club usually wins in the best theming category. Of the year that they did was Snow White, and everyone came as grumpy and slutty or whatever they called themselves. It was awesome. That they've been on the ride every year, and our very first pit stop each year, and have been great supporters and sponsors of the event. And it's really great to have them there. And I know there's a personal connection with the Coral Gables Women's Club to HIV and AIDS. And it's amazing to see your organization come together around the individual and supporting them, supporting their brother who has passed from HIV and AIDS. And, there's that connection that just, you never know where it's going to come from.
And then we've got Carmen Suarez chairs it every year, and she's hilarious. So we have a really good time with it. Yeah. And actually, because we had a tough year at the Coral Gables Women's Club, because we weren't able to rent out our clubhouse.
Right.
So we were in the same position with a lot of restaurants were that we had no income coming in. And that helps subsidize our dental clinic. So this year, we're nearly, it's a line item in our budget. We give you what, $1,500? I don't know.
It's like $3,000 every year.
We give you that every year. So this year couldn't happen. So I said, well, no, we can still do it. We just have to have a bunch of little events. So we're doing our next Gringo Bingo.
Gringo Bingo.
Speaking of Clutchburger, our next Gringo Bingo is going to be July the 6th. And it's $20. And you get 12 bingo cards and lots of great prizes. And all the $20 will be divided between your
Helping.
your group and the Women's Club Charities.
Which is awesome.
So so little by little, we're dreaming of ways to
And I thought
continue.
that was amazing because that's right now you need to take care of yourselves. And so the fact that the Coral Gables Women's Club was willing to say, well, we still want to do good with the community,
Yeah.
that's heartwarming. That's what it's all about, because you really could use the money for your own needs at the moment with the clubhouse and having not had revenue for a year and some renovations and things that need to happen.
Oh, yeah, we have our 40-year inspection. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
That's expensive.
That's very expensive. So yeah.
Right. Yeah, but everybody wanted to do it. It wasn't like, So I said, hey guys, come on,
we got to do this. We got to do this.
We're going to do it. We're going to do it. So so some.
And one year we'll get you on it. We'll try not to conflict with something else you've got going on.
I know.
I need you at a pit stop.
I know.
You'd be a great cheerleader.
I know. And the great thing is, but you know what? One of the great things I love is that how much in kind you get. It's like nuts.
We've been very fortunate. The way to give back 100% means you still have to cover those expenses. Housing in Hawks Cay, because when you finish the 100 miles on day one, we house everyone overnight. And so we don't do tents like most traditional bike rides where you're two in a tent. And
so you get everybody to pay their own way.
So everyone pays a registration fee that helps offset some of the costs of what we have. But our biggest expense is Hawks Cay, and it costs us almost $90,000 for that one night. But between sponsors, the hotel itself being so gracious, people helping donate with catering, Olive Garden feeding all 750 people the first night for free. All of those things help us be able to continue to give back 100%, because that was a promise I made on year one when I agreed to do this, was that we had to give back 100%, and I won't go back on my word, because you're only as good as your word.
Right. Yeah.
That first year, I remember my sister asking me, how bad do you think it could be? And I'm like, we may lose like $20,000. And she's like, you still need to do it because it's the right thing to do. And I'm like, I'll put it on every credit card. I'm not going to get back on my word, because the community,
I remember,
you got to trust, you got to build trust and stuff. And we ended up $300 in the black that first year. And that was with commissions coming in from hotels and everything else. So if you set your mind to it and you really want to believe in it, you can accomplish almost anything. It's just how I feel about stuff. If you really do sometimes a business plan, you'll never attempt the project because it doesn't make logical sense. Right.
But the first year you made,
we raised $169,000 and gave back $169,000.
And then the $300 you were in the black. What was that? That was
covering our expenses for hotels and permits and signage and
So you got people
supplies.
To sponsor that too.
Yes, we got everything sponsored. Yeah. Everything on the ride is sponsored.
Okay.
Yeah, that's how we cover the expenses.
Got it. So then, when people do the ride, so I'm going to sign up for the ride, and do they pledge a certain amount of money, or how does that work?
So everyone who rides commits to raise $1,250.
Okay.
And on average, they're raising $2,200 a piece. So the first year we raised $169,000 with like less than 100 participants.
Got it.
Last full ride, which would have been Smart Ride 16, we raised $1.4 million. So we went from $169,000 to $1.4 million and gave back $1.4 million.
Yeah.
And we went from under 100 riders to 500 riders and 250 volunteers. So a little traveling city. And we have our own massage team that travels with us. We have a medical team that travels with us. We have route marking. We have sweep and sag vehicles, which are support vehicles for people if they break down or they get tired. We travel with a full bike mechanics to if someone gets a flat and they can't fix it, or they bend their rim or whatever that might be. So we travel with a whole team of people that are experts in different areas, and then just people that are great.
And they're all just volunteering.
And they're all volunteering. Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
That's pretty miraculous.
It is pretty miraculous. And every now and then I have to do like a little check, because it is surreal. You try not to sort of absorb what it has done and the number of people that have helped. I used to question, like, we only affect 750 people. It's not that big a deal. What kind of difference are we making? And then I remember looking at that like last year, meaning the last full year that we actually did the event, we had like 15,000 donors. So 15,000 people said the word AIDS. 15,000 people moved to act on it and make a donation, and maybe 15,000 people were sitting at the dinner table where your husband John goes, "Why did you write a check for $100 to Glenn?" And you go, "He's doing this AIDS bike ride. I didn't think AIDS was a thing." Maybe there are kids in the room and they, you're not lecturing to them, but they pick it up and maybe they do their own little Google to ask their friends about it. And it's all about raising awareness. If you don't say the word, it doesn't exist.
So tell me, because of your connection with all these different clinics and whatever, what is new? Are there new treatments? You were talking about preventative measures. Yeah. What's going on?
So PrEP is the biggest thing that's come out, and PrEP basically, if you're a person who is sexually active, and you take PrEP, you're pretty much guaranteed that you can't transmit the disease if you're already infected, and you can't get it if you're not infected and you take PrEP. So it's a one a day pill. There's several different companies that make them.
Are they super expensive?
The cost is extremely expensive, but there's no reason not to be able to get it. There's so many programs out there that will get the medication to individuals for free through other government programs that are out there. So yeah, there's like, we have an agency in Orlando, and depending on where you are in the state, you have different challenges. Our agency in Orlando deals more with issues with stigma. So if you're in the Black community, the Latin community, you're more likely to face stigma, and so not take your medication, so not take PrEP, because you're worried someone's going to think if you took PrEP, they must think you're gay, or you're taking PrEP means you're already infected, and that's not the case. But because stigma is so strong and because education is so weak, especially in some of these other parts of our state, people get sick and they don't need to. So, but they can get those drugs for free, but getting them to take it is sometimes now the issue. So education awareness is really a lot of our focus, as well as care. We act as a bridge. Sometimes the government will pay for a treatment, but they won't pay for the test to get the treatment. So Smart Ride acts sometimes as a bridge to those services. A good example is that we spend not us, but our benefiting agencies spend a lot of money on transportation, on bus passes and things. And sometimes people say, "Well, I want to help people." And you have to say, but what you don't understand is I can get them the medicine for free, but they have no way of getting there. If I get stuck, I can call you, Gloria, and say, "Hey, I need to get to the doctor." And you're like, "Okay, I can do it." I can call a friend. All my community are all in a position to be able to help. But if you're in some of those communities that are economically challenged, your friends are all in the same position. They don't have cars. They don't have a means of transportation. Exactly. You give someone a bus pass that costs $80, you're opening up tens of thousands of dollars worth of services, because now they can go to the pharmacy to pick up their medication. They can go to the doctor to get care. They can go to social groups to connect with people of similar backgrounds. We worked with the children's agency for years, and a lot of those women that were in the children's agency didn't tell anybody that they were infected because they didn't want to be, ostracized from their community. And their kids that were positive were told, "Don't tell anybody." So they walk around with the secret, thinking, and they don't necessarily have to be gay to be, to have HIV. Of course. And they walk around with the secret. But one of the things we funded was a camp. And so we would take kids away to camp through one of our agencies. And it's the first time the kids met people like them. The first time they were able to take their medication out in public. They build these, they're able to text their new friends and go, realize they're no longer alone. I'm not an oddball. I'm not the only one with this. Yeah. So you build those relationships. And the same thing happened with the women. Women had never been to a place where there was green space. They'd never seen a yak, or or been on a kayak. And the yak and a kayak, it's way too close. It's confusing. But they've never been on a kayak, and they've never, been on a lake. And so they're out there, and, they meet other women like them, and they build these relationships. And now one of them has a weekly group that now meets as a result.
Yeah. Oh, that's great. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
So are you coming to Gringo Bingo, first of all?
It's the day before my birthday, and if I'm in town, I will be there. Oh my goodness,
we could conceivably have a birthday cake for you.
Yeah, I know.
Because
you don't obviously you don't have a gay man turn 60 during a pandemic and not be able to celebrate. So this year I'll be 61, so I'm doing it as a 60 plus one, because I need to get that 60.
Oh no, I think you just do your 60th birthday. Screw it.
That's what I said. Last year we just skipped over completely. So
I always said that after I turned 60, I go, okay, so this is apparently, in the future, we'll be celebrating my 60th birthday.
Exactly. From this time forward. So
from this time forward. Yes. Yeah. So and it doesn't matter when you do it.
Yeah, exactly. So is bingo at 5:00?
So bingo is no. Bingo is at 7.
Okay, because we talked about like getting from Fort Lauderdale
you
down
can't.
here during rush hour.
No. Just come for the day.
Come early. Go to the dentist. My dentist is down here.
Exactly. Go see Dr. Iris Torres.
Get polished.
Yeah, exactly. Get your teeth cleaned and whatever, and then I'm usually there early. You can have some dinner first
and get lunch.
Yeah,
dinner.
Yeah, late lunch, dinner,
maybe a drink
whatever.
Or two.
Yeah. So
all right. Well,
anyway,
we'll work on it.
Yeah. So guys, give me a call or email me at gloria@cnews.net if you want to RSVP for Gringo Bingo. It's on July the 6th, which is
Tuesday.
Is it next? It's not next Tuesday, is it? Is it Tuesday after
it's
next?
Tuesday.
2 weeks. 2 weeks from tomorrow.
So 1 week from tomorrow. Oh, I'm so not ready for my birthday. I need to go.
Oh my God. 1 week from tomorrow, we need to move. Yeah. Actually, I've already got half of it sold out, and I haven't even promoted it yet because I thought I did think it was 2 weeks away. Yeah. Are we right? Yeah. Yeah. What is today? Today's the 20th? Yeah.
No, anyway. Today's
it's 2 weeks from tomorrow.
It's 2 weeks from tomorrow.
Oh, thank God. Yeah, today's the 21st.
Okay.
Next week's the 28th.
Okay. So, so put that on your docket. Don't forget, I want to thank again Braham Medical Institute and Quigley Eye Specialist. And don't forget, they've got that June 30th tea and talk. Should be a lot of fun with Dr. Baraha, and you'll get something good to eat, a goodie bag, I'm sure, and some great information. I already have a girlfriend that's coming that actually was checking it out because it impairs her vision. She says when she watches TV, she puts her eye up and she goes, "Oh, I can see better."
I've got my vision back.
Yeah, really. Yeah, as easy as that. And then, of course, South Florida PBS, they've got so many great things going on right now. I saw Il Forno and just recently on one of their shows. And what's your favorite show on South Florida PBS?
I love The Weekend. Don't ask. No, it's.
They have Dr. Q&A. Do you ever watch that?
I don't watch that one.
It's 7:00 on.
Wait, don't ask. Wait, don't tell me or something like that. That's the show. I love that.
Really?
On the weekends, yeah.
Oh,
it's awesome. It's current events, and they always have a great comedian or someone as a co-host. So yeah.
Oh my God, I haven't watched that one.
No, that's been around for years. You got to do that.
Okay, I'll do that. So.
But if you want to get involved in the Smart Ride, you want to know how to get a hold of us?
Yeah. Oh yes.
I thought you'd want to.
Oh my God, we didn't even talk about
notes.
this. Yeah, hold on. Look at this. They've got great things, and we still, even though you don't have to wear them all the time because we've all been vaccinated in our office anyway, but you still need to wear these to doctors' offices and
airplanes.
So they have these great little things.
It's called a mask.
And we got
our hats. And then if you wanted to reach us, it's www.thesmartride.org. And you can register, get information about the ride, or just pop us an email at info@thesmartride.org, and we can connect you and I'm sure people have a ton of questions about what it is like to ride between Miami and Key West.
Yes. And you have like police escorts or something that keep people safe, because that's terrifying to me.
Well, thanks.
Or do you you're
not a spokesperson, thank God.
So
it's terrifying
no.
to me.
Well, because first of all, I'm not a bicyclist.
Neither am I, but I rode when I turned 50.
Oh, you did?
I did. First time. I've been on a bike in 30 years. And the reason I got through is because my mother did this. She does the, "You'll never do that." And I said, "What are you talking about?" She goes, "You know you'll never do that." And she kept pushing me. And I was like, well, now I'm more determined than ever.
Yeah, exactly.
So yeah, I rode
Don't
the whole
tell me I can't do something.
That's right. So I rode the whole 165 miles. And it was, I really didn't think I'd finish. I was hoping to get to lunch at 50 miles. And I found something cute to follow. And it was half my age. And at every rest stop, I'd go over to that person and say, "You can't leave till I catch my breath." And that was my motivation. I got all the way to Key West, and we're still friends.
That's so funny. That's so funny. Yeah. So thank you again for joining us today, and keep the date November
19th and 20th.
Put that on your calendar. And if you're a bicyclist, even more important,
Absolutely.
it's a good time. And
It's a good
everybody
time.
that does it once wants to do it again.
Right. It's hard to explain what that does to you, but we leave from the University of Miami, which I think is important on that campus.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So, yeah. So until next time,
You're Gloria Burns.
I'm Gloria Burns, Glen Weinzimer, and we'll see you next week.
Thank you.